it got hydrogen. So hydrogen is still the most abundant element in the universe. It's not the most abundant here on Earth. Earth is special. Guys, Earth is special. Earth is not a reflection of the rest of the universe, okay? As far as I understand, and as far as we know observationally, Earth is extremely special. So don't confuse what is the most abundant here on Earth and what is the most abundant here on the Earth's atmosphere versus the rest of the universe. Overall in the universe, the most abundant element is hydrogen. The next most abundant element is helium. So Steven, you get second prize. Helium is the next most abundant because that's what the universe does. The universe does not deal in gold and silver and uranium and iron. I mean, sure, iron is getting made in the bellies of lots of stars, but stars are still a small part of the universe, right? So stars are, you know, like there's a lot of gas in the universe. There's much more gas actually in the interstellar medium. Basically what we call interstellar medium has gas, right? Gaseous substance. That stuff is mostly hydrogen, okay? It's not that complicated. It's not that rich in like, it's not like gold and silver is floating around in space, okay? It's hydrogen. The stuff that's in the interstellar medium, you said not to take those heavy elements, but yeah, yes, and you should not take the Earth for granted either. So the interstellar medium is rich in gaseous substances, and that gas has a lot of, it's mostly hydrogen. So once again, in the universe, the most abundant element in the universe is hydrogen. As we read this book called Atom, you should probably keep in mind, the most abundant element in the universe is hydrogen, okay? Followed by helium. It's true that stars make elements, heavier elements than hydrogen and helium. Even iron comes from stars living and dying. Gold comes from stars living and dying. And yes, don't take any heavy elements for granted. I mean, even iron is made in the stars. How do you think we got iron in our belly? We didn't make that iron. The iron is more dense, so because of chemical, what's the word again? Chemical differentiation. So this is a geology take now, or not a take. It's just now we're speaking geology because the Earth doesn't do. It's not like there's astronomy reasons for why we have an iron core. We have an iron core because stars have lived and died and given us iron. And we come from a gas cloud from the death of stars that used to be metal rich, etc., made metals. Now we are here. We've made Earth and the other planets in our solar system. But as far as geology goes, iron is very heavy. So in the Earth, iron has sunk to the bottom, and so we have an iron core. It's not like we made that iron, right? So do not take the Earth for granted. Do not take iron for granted. That still holds true for us, okay? Yo, it's me, Ian, your old friend. Hi, Ian. How are you? Hi, Stephen. Hi, everybody. So do not take iron for granted either. No, we did not make that iron. It's not like we made the nuclear reactions that gave us iron. We were gifted iron from nature, and that iron simply sank to the bottom, which happens to be the middle of this mostly spherical Earth, because it's more heavy, okay? At this density, the atoms in the sun lose their individual identities. So if you squeeze the sun a lot and make it more dense, then the atoms in the sun would lose their individual identity. They would do other phenomena than the normal stuff, okay? Like than normal nuclear physics. Under normal conditions, a single atom is composed of a dense nucleus made up of the elementary particles called protons and neutrons, which are themselves made up of smaller fundamental particles called quarks. Yay! I saw a documentary on mining. They found a mountain of copper in Southeast Asia. Well, don't take that copper for granted either. Copper is which atomic number? Copper is zinc. I think it's 29. So do not take copper for granted either. We did not make it, I assure you. What we made is actually oceans. We did make oceans, so maybe we can take the oceans for granted. But even then, I wouldn't, because what's in the ocean we did not make. I'm going to Kansas. Very nice. So Good thing that Dr. KRAUSS is giving us a reminder